The project I chose was the Gardens by the Bay in Singapore. There are 3 distinct garden sections: Bay South, Bay East, and Bay Central. These gardens cover a total area of 101 hectares. The scope of the project was to create the best tropical gardens in the world while implementing cutting-edge environmental design and sustainable development practices. The project had to manage the difficulties of working on reclaimed land and dealing with the Singaporean climate. There also had to be a major focus on the relationship between humans and nature, using innovative technology to make a rich lifestyle, educational, and recreational experience for both locals and tourists. Making Singapore into a city and a garden was also a major point. They didn't want to have gardens in the city like Central Park in New York, but instead make it seem as though the city is integrated into the landscape. Raising the global profile of the city and promoting horticulture and garden artistry were also focused on. The scope varied by garden, with Bay South including climate-controlled conservatories and super trees, and Bay East being large tropical leaf-shaped gardens with varying themes. Bay Central is still under development, but is a link between the other two and will be worked on in the next few years. As this is a large development, and not just a single construction site, varying design teams and contractors were used throughout the different gardens. The owner of the site was the National Parks Board of Singapore. The gardens are now managed by the Gardens by the Bay company. There were multiple design teams chosen for the project: Grant Associates and their team of Wilkinson Eyre, Atelier 10, Atelier 1, Land Design Studio, and Thomas Matthews, along with support from Singapore firms CPG Consultants, Meinhardt Infrastructure, Langton & C, and PM Link Project Management. The contractors for Bay South were TTJ Holdings Limited, Swee Hong Engineering Construction Limited, and Woh Hup Limited, which are all based in Singapore. Woh Hup was the general contractor for the whole site. Bay East was awarded to Gustafson Porter and their design team consisting of Hamilton Architects, Lawrence Barth, AURP, ICN, Sue Minter, PM Link, Spears & Major, CPA, Tim O'Hare, and Davis Langdon C. There was much less information on Bay East contractors, but Woh Hup was listed on the overall project contractor, so I assume they were the company used. There is no information on Bay Central, as it is still in development and there does not appear to have been a design or contract set. The delivery method appears to be design bid build. This is because in January of 2006, there was a design competition launched by the National Parks Board. 70 entries were submitted by 170 firms from over 24 countries. Grant Associates was awarded Bay South and Gustafson Porter was awarded Bay East. It was decided that Bay Central was to be developed at a later time. These winners were design teams, and the actual construction was done by unrelated contractors, making it seem to be a design bid build process. Considering the project is apparently design bid build, and all of the numbers I found for pricing were large single prices, it appears it was a lump sum contract mechanism used. Bay South was priced at about $619 million. I could not find any numbers for the individual contracts for Bay East, but the overall price for the project thus far was determined to be $1.035 billion, not including land costs. As you can see, Bay South was over half of this budget and is the largest of the gardens at 54 hectares. The project was first introduced for bidding in January of 2006. September of 2006, there was a public exhibition to gauge popular opinion. The project was very well accepted, with 85% of people saying they liked the features and 97% saying they would visit the site. Groundbreaking happened in November of 2007. Bay East was opened to the public in October of 2011, and Bay South opened in June of 2012. For such a large and innovative project, this seems to be a very quick construction time. I assume this is due to the fact that a lot of the project is landscaping and labor costs are lower in Singapore. A slight hiccup occurred during construction as the price rose over 30% for construction of Bay South. They said this increase in cost was managed by cost-efficient technologies and an increase in public funding and corporate sponsorship. The project was constructed on reclaimed land, which created building difficulty as soil conditions are not like that of naturally deposited soils. There is also water surrounding a lot of the area, as it is on the bay, which played a factor in construction. I did not find anything in particular on this subject, but I assume the water caused problems but also allowed for transport of materials to the site with greater speed. Technology was of major importance to the project. Contractor Swee Hung used BIM for their construction process. BIM was also vital for TTJ Holdings Limited. The super trees they constructed based on the designs of Grant Associates had very complex geometries for the canopies. They also worked on the OCBC Skyway, a walkway which connects one of the clusters of super trees together. They again talked about the importance of BIM in the walkway's construction. This particular project was difficult to find information on due to its large size, continued development, and foreign location. I tried to make the best assumptions possible where required, but I may be incorrect on some of them. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.